You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes.
Hello, today is Saturday the 13th of September 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And what a difference a couple of weeks makes with the temperature. I'm sitting in my living room telling myself that it is too early to turn the heating on, and it is, but it's noticeably cooler than it has been recently. I'm going to put a jumper on rather than put the heating on, because I'd kind of like to try and last out to the end of the month, which should be relatively, without using the heating that is, which should be relatively easy because after Monday I'm not here very much yet, back to work. My brain has just done a bit of a mental freeze today, so I was hoping to do some writing, but my sleeping is terrible at the moment, so I really struggled to get to sleep last night. It was at least, I saw the clock turn to 4 a.m, so I don't know how much longer after that I was awake, but it was certainly after that. So yeah, a bit rubbish really. So I struggle to write when I'm feeling tired because the sluggish feeling in my brain is the one thing I just can't. I don't like writing. I don't know if I can't write when it's like that, but I do worry that what I produce won't be very good. But so once again, well, it's an interim target, but really tomorrow is my deadline for kind of finishing chapter 10. I don't know if I will, but hey, you know what? I've still written 11,600 signs off words this month, and I'm nearly on the 15,000 that I set myself the target for, so that's good. What else have I been doing today? Well, I've watched, it wasn't today, it was a couple of days ago, but I've watched Doc Martin all the way through now. I've got the series on DVD and I've been rewatching them from the beginning, and it's such a good show. I've been down to Port Isaac in Cornwall, on the north coast of Cornwall, which is the place they use as Port Wen, and it's just wonderful. It's a gorgeous place, and what's great is it's as it looks on the screen. You know, if you think you know where things are in relation to each other because you've watched the show, then you're probably right. They do. You know, if you start at the doctor's house and wander down the hill, you've got, you know, Mrs. Tishel's on the right immediately, and then if you turn left and wander back up that way, you get to the school. And I hadn't watched the later episodes when I last went there, so I need to work out where the where Penhale's police station is. I'd quite like to know where what's her name, the original Aunt Jones farm is. I'd like to know where the cottage that the second aunt, I can't remember her name, that came into it, lived. Yeah, it's just a really, really gorgeous area. Then what else have I been doing? Oh, I discovered that Mitchell and Webb have got a new sketch show, and it's not on the Beeb. It's on Channel 4. And what I will say is, I don't remember them using the F and the C word quite as often in the BBC iteration. In fact, there's no sketches that they've carried over. There's nothing they've continued. But it's still pretty funny. And one thing I really liked about it was I was hoping we'd get to see Olivia Colman, because obviously she's a massive, massive star now. But she started off, I mean, she worked with Mitchell and Webb quite a lot, because I think she was a regular on Peep Show, and she was also a regular on the BBC sketch shows. I don't know if it was the radio version, but it was definitely the TV version. And she's not in every episode, but she did do a sketch in the second episode, and there may be more because I haven't watched them all yet. But I love the fact that even though she's now a super mega famous star, she obviously got on with them and enjoyed working with them, and came back just to do a sketch with them for the new series. So I appreciated that. What else? Yeah, I'm just generally feeling a bit at the moment. So back to work in 2 days' time. I can't work out if I'm looking forward to it or not. But then I've literally got New York and back twice. Gibraltar and back in one day, then 3 days of standby. What with days off in the middle, that's a total of 14 days. And then I'm off again, and I'm basically off from the 2 days before the end of September through to the 9th of November. Loads planned for that. So I'm going into London a couple of times, going to see a couple of plays, weirdly, on consecutive nights. So I'm staying with a friend down there. So that's really cool. I'm going to see... I can't remember what it's called. That thing with John Nettles, where he started off in it, playing a police officer, the one where there's a murder, I can't remember what it's called. The police detective show that's been running for years. They've replaced the main investigating officer several times. Midsummer Murders, that's it. I need to come back to me. So there's a stage adaptation of Midsummer Murders, and then the following night, going to see The Importance of Being Earnest with Ollie Alexander, Stephen Fry, Hugh Dennis, and loads of other people. So that's going to be fun. I've got the trip up to Beamish, which kind of is I kind of want to just sort of sign off in my head that the layout I've described in chapter 10 is right, but also it just looks like a wonderful place. So spending 2 nights up there because it's a 4-hour drive. So getting there on the Sunday night, exploring on the Monday, coming back on the Tuesday. And there'll be plenty of other bits and pieces going on in October. And remember, I don't go back to work. And I've got a book. I've got a book event with T.G. Campbell as well on the 24th to 26th. So yeah, I've overrun a little bit, so I shall shut up now. So I've got plenty planned, and I'm sure I'll get some writing done as well. Just not today. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.